Show X Live with Ken in a student accommodation all the way in Scotland and Wayne in his white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Hello, you're listening to Show X Live on visualproductions.com, and I've not done this in a long time.
Oh, come on, you can do it.
I'm doing it. I am Ken from visualproductions.com, joined by the lovely, the handsome, the beautiful Mr. Wayne. My lovely assistant, Mr. Wayne.
Oh, I see how it is. I'm regulated down to just assistant status.
Well, today you are. Today I am the host of the show, and plus, it looks like you are wearing that, to be fair, sir. My friend, sir.
Oh, excuse me.
So, yes, today we are switching things up a little bit. I am now hosting today, so if there are millions of problems, which I have to guess there will be, has to be tons of problems, tell me, so I can try and fix them on the fly on air. It's supposed to be a lot of fun. Ooh, let's do it. So, we are listening to the Show X, and this is...
Functional Deviations.
Hey, look at you there. Good job, sir.
Look at that. Now, Mr. Wayne is being very quiet this week. Very, very whispery and silent on the air. Why is this? What are you up to?
Well, that's because I've infiltrated the room of some other people that you might be able to see in the background who are sleeping still, or still kind of at least in bed, and so I'm trying my best not to completely destroy their earballs, and that is mostly the reason why, Ken, you're the one who started the show today instead of me doing my traditional loud Good Morning Vietnam's-esque introduction. So I'm hiding up in a room where I could find some interwebs so I could actually join in on the show today.
Fantastic. I've noticed I've cut half your face off, but that's okay. It's the top half that matters, so the Frozen's in, so it's okay. And we can still see your beautiful earrings, which I'm sure we'll get into very shortly.
That probably happened because I sent you a chat which changed the, where your settings were for that.
Yes, that'll be what it is, yep. So
you can either turn the chat off or you can just resize it.
I don't know. I can still see your face. I can try and fix it in real time. Do you want to see how that works? Let's try this. Okay. Not order, position, reset size. Oh, you're massive now. Yeah, I broke it. Oh god. Hey look, guys, Wayne's the whole screen now.
You have to resize the sub-region.
Wait.
Or redo the sub-region.
That'll do it. Wait, it's not even. Wait. So professional. There, that'll do. Slightly off. That'll annoy the OCT people in the chat. Alright. So, anybody who's in the video wall beforehand, or at least watching the stream, will have noticed something funny. You'll have noticed, first of all, the game of let's play Guess the White Guy, because you can tell by the dancing beforehand. You'll see Wayne showing off his fancy moves he learned in class, and me stiffly moving around like a robot, but not quite good enough that you can tell it's a robot though. Just sort of like I'm having some
it sounds like everything is duplicate. You might want to stop and start the
Are you kidding me?
all the audio cables again.
How did that happen? Okay, everybody should be able to hear us now again. Is that alright?
Well,
Please give
did
us
you stop and start
feedback.
them?
Yep, all of them.
And manually start the other one?
To go up. Yeah, start everything.
Alright.
Yeah, you're coming through loud, but I'm not now. I knew this would happen. Knew it! Oh, jeez.
Were you playing League of Legends before the show?
A little bit. Not directly before. Let me try once more. Okay, testing. How is that, folks? Give me a bit of feedback. Nope, I'm still really quiet for most of it. That is frustrating. Okay, Wayne, tell us how your week was in the meantime.
Yes, Ken gets to finally feel what it's like to have me go through and have to keep all the interweb audios accurate. Usually it is one where you have to stop all the virtual cables, make sure they're all happy and dead, and then start them over again.
I think I got it. Yes!
Oh,
I'm loud. I'm loud again. Yes, I can see the levels bouncing. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Terrible.
So everyone can now appreciate what it's like when I host the show.
Okay, tell us levels in the IRC, folks. We'll try and fix it on the fly. because we are fly that way. Alright, so I was saying that we're playing a game of guess who the white guy is in the video world, because I was doing some terrible dance moves beforehand. However, we can also play a game of guess the man, guess the woman, because Wayne is addressed very interestingly today. So, again, as I said, tell us about your week, sir.
Well, my week has been nothing but geeky, so I don't know if it's appropriate for dysfunctional. Let's see. I'm trying to think of anything I've done this week that hasn't been. I've mostly, well, in all that's on the edge, I've been trying to work on photo editing yet again to try to catch up with all these massive amounts of photo shoots that I'm sitting on, and finding out that I have more that I'd forgotten about that people started bugging me about, saying, hey, remember that baby shower you were here for and took pictures of? I don't think I've ever seen any photos from that. So I'm kind of like, oh, really? No? No, you haven't? Let me get on that. And so, yeah, I have a lot of things I still need to do, apparently. What else have I been doing? Basically, my whole week was ending up in a mad scramble of time to try to get ready for this weekend that is just finishing up. And so I didn't go to work either Thursday or Friday. I instead spent all of Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday I went dancing for my dance class, but Monday and Tuesday night I both spent time trying to finish up Mad Scramble cosplay for this weekend, because I'm at NDK, and Nan Desu Kan is my big convention each year for anime. It's the one I look forward to the most. It's kind of the home of my conventions, the first one I started going to. And so I'm here again this weekend, and not to say my enthusiasm is sapped or anything like that, but it has been a busy, busy weekend. And so my energy levels are kind of at a maintain kind of setup right now versus a woo kind of thing. It's just been, I've already spent, I'm pretty much spent. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. So we'll go ahead and let you talk about what you've been doing non-geeky this week, and then I'll get into details when we get into our next section.
Sure thing. So this week I've been up to a couple of little things. I know there's still some problems with music in the background. I'm trying to fix it on the fly, so we'll see how that goes. My sound is low with drop-ins echoing, and so is music, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. In the next week, by this time next week, the future of Scotland is going to have been decided. The independence vote is in, 4 days' time. That is the difference between lots of people having their jobs, our military, our healthcare, our pensions, our own government, and so on, all decided in a few days' time. And it's not going to be a sudden change. It's not as if overnight all of the military is going to pull out, all of the pension schemes will pull out. It's a gradual process. However, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens to the economy in the meantime, because I'm sure that will be innocent with share points and like, because that will change overnight probably. So that'll be at the very least, interesting to see. At the most, we will see, because it's entirely possible that, for example, I know that some things on my end are a little bit interesting in terms of job and having, you know, an American wife who requires a visa, and independence is going to change which country she's technically in, so that might be a problem. They're promising a lot of things, but we'll wait and see what actually happens in the end. So for now, everything's good, but we will see. There's been yes and no signs freaking everywhere. Mainly yes, you'll see them everywhere. People trying to scream and shout from the rooftops about yes. There's like challenges to try and put the yes signs up the highest mountains and on top of places where they can't be damaged. Both sides have been doing riotous behavior. Not actually rioting, but destroying each other's like posters and signs and shops and smashing glass when the things they're attached to and the likes. Just intentionally trying to be a nuisance. So it's going to be particularly interesting next week on the voting day to see if people are going to be particularly mad about things. They might be very, very annoyed by the fact that it goes one way or the other. In my personal opinion, and this is nothing to do with the views of Scotland as a whole, or anybody else I even live with or anything else, but I think either way there's going to be problems, because I think if we say no, I think there's going to be riots in the street, and I think if we say yes, I think there's going to be riots in the government. So we will see what happens. Interesting stuff. Right, I need 2 headphones. As you can see, I'm actually stealing kittens for this week. She has just noticed this, I think. Big yellow ones that are far too small for my head. Ugh, squishing me. Because she's got a very small head compared to mine. which is not good. So I need to get a new set of headphones sometime, maybe for Christmas or my birthday or something. Because I've got 2 sets of these freaking Android ones. One set came with my Android phone, and we got the other set from my pal Doug at work. And both sets, one of the headphones would stop working, just one of them, but on opposite sides for each headphone. So if we had like both plugged in and put opposite ones in, it'd work.
You could listen to both at the same time.
Yeah, it'd be great. In fact, I've got a splitter down here. That would work. I can actually do that. I never even thought of that. But it's just a little bit silly, and the problem is the cables are split in different sections. Like one is broken up here and one is broken down the other end. So we couldn't just cut and swap. So it's a little bit annoying. Also, speaking of cables, that's one thing I did forget about. Freaking chinchillas, man. Freaking chinchillas.
What happened with your little fluffy rat, Ken?
Oh, fluffy rat indeed. So that little thing that we do own, it sits through there and lives in a little cage through there, has to be let out once in a while. It has to be let to run around and exercise, and my beautiful wife absolutely loves giving him as much free time as possible to let it run around and enjoy itself. However, this also means it can chew, gnaw, scramble towards, headbutt many and multiple things and people. In fact, Kitten herself experienced a bit of gnawing today on her finger from the poor little thing. Now, I do not blame the chinchilla. The chinchilla is a chinchilla. It does not have a human brain. It does not do anything intentionally that, it just likes to chew, and that is all. Poor little thing. However, if it's left to run around and is not watched over carefully, it'll get up to some nefarious means. Such as running underneath my computer and chewing on my mouse. My 90-odd pound, $150 Razer Naga mouse. Until it stops working. And then I'm left with an HP mouse.
Oh, yeah. One of the joys of having rats in the house that you let in yourself.
So now the chinchilla is not allowed in this room. It is banned. It is not happening. No. So I'm sad about that. So speaking of things I'll need a new one of, I'll be needing a new mouse at some point. I did try and fix it myself, but I am no electrical engineer, and there's this, I cut out the 2 sections and tried to put together, I got electrical tape, and I was trying to do it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It doesn't even look like these little cables are like, I don't know what's going on. So I'm going to bring it into work and say like, hey, does anybody know anything about stuff? Because I don't know anything about stuff. Please fix it. I think that's my plan. But, so annoying. So, headphones have broken, and my freaking mouse is broken. It has not been a good past week for Ken's electronics. So that's that.
There's ways you can get over that or get through that. You could get rid of your rat.
Would that solve? I don't think that would solve the problems of what was already broken, though. And
no, but it would help ensure that it doesn't happen again. Although I guess trying to sequester it in another room, because I'm sure that will last, isn't a suitable answer. So I think you're good.
It does love to chew on walls and stuff as well, so we'll see what happens in the end. I'm sure it'll have a nice feast of plaster in the meantime, though. The Ken does not look too happy with my words. So, on happier note, Miss Ken and myself have been looking at our honeymoon and where we could go.
Oh.
So we're thinking cruises. We're going to somewhere hot and tropical, we think. Probably Greece, some of the Greek Isles. Santorini, perhaps. Going there for maybe 8 or 9 days, getting a nice hotel, saving up for like half a year so we get a nice place, a nice 4-star hotel or something. And I don't know if everybody has seen it, but I would recommend checking it out because it is freaking beautiful. Let me try something here. Okay, here we go.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Santorini. This is when you see all the porn bookmarks I have at the top. Okay, Santorini. In fact, let's look at pictures. Let's not look at the wiki. So this place is absolutely gorgeous. This is a Greek islet. Used to be a volcano, I believe. If you look at the color of that water, is that natural? How does that work? Do you see how pretty that is? It is freaking gorgeous. If you just type in yourself, you might see it any better. And those who are in the podcast probably won't be able to see much here. But the place is absolutely freaking stunning. The whole town itself, from the parts you see in the photos anyway, are all white plaster and white stone and painted white, and it just looks absolutely gorgeous. The sunsets and sunrises look gorgeous. It's good weather all year round except for winter when it's stormy, apparently, as it looks there. It's very warm, the prices are reasonable, and you see some local stuff as well as touristy stuff, so it's a nice mix. So we're thinking about that for sometimes next year. We're also thinking about maybe somewhere in America, because her parents have a place we can go stay, so that could be nice, just escaping for 10 days in somewhere in the US, so that could be fun. But we don't know, we're unsure. So if you guys have any recommendations in preferably Europe, give us a shout, we'd be interested. Other than that, that's everything that's been on my week. And if that's all that's going on in your week as well, perhaps we should move on to... give me a moment, I can do this. It's not that one. Which one is it? It's this one.
I'm a geek. Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
Oh no, I'm playing the wrong
job,
music!
sir.
Wrong music! Damn it! Oh, I'll do it. I'll just swap it around. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Exactly. No, nobody will hear the background music doubly that tells them that it's all wrong.
No. I'll see if I can fix it. In the meantime, sir, this is where we discuss our geek cred, what we've been up to in the past week in terms of geekiness, and we decide if we have earned our title as geeks. What have you been up to, sir?
All right, so this is the meat and potatoes of what I've been doing. But before I get into it, I want to make sure we catch up on an email that came to us last week that unfortunately we did not get time for because we were running around talking all those things important about the Gamergate information with our special guest, Todd. So this email came in from last week, from the original copy, subject being special thanks. It said, "Greetings, Wayne, Todd, and Dr. Lord Reverend and Bachelor of Science Kenneth Neal Reed II. I just wanted to send many thanks to Tom Bad Guy for gifting me Open Canvas 5.5 on Steam at the beginning of the month. Life has been busy for me lately and I was offline for a while, so it was a lovely surprise to find when I returned to the virtual world. Also started playing Donkey Kong Country 2 again, 2-player contest style with Jolly. We were playing on the ZSNES emulator because we don't have a functional old box type TV to play the actual cartridge game. And Nintendo doesn't want to make money by selling virtual copies on their new consoles. Funnily enough, Donkey Kong Country 2 is very much pirate-themed. Yarr! I may be a pirate by choice. 'Twas a life forced upon me by obsolete technologies. That's all for now. See you next Sunday. Much love, the original copy." Yes, that is one of those gray areas of where we talk about pirating that comes into situations where you're trying to do the right thing by playing technology that you legally purchased or would like to legally purchase, and it's either no longer available or it's something that you can't play normally with the technology in existence today. And essentially that's where you start talking about not not vaporware. It's what is that called? Ken, do you know? When it's basically OBE at that point?
No idea, sir. Can't help you.
I forget it. But essentially it does run into whenever it's, no matter what you do, you can't, when you can't even give a company money to be able to play the things you want to play. And so in doing so, you're basically forced or left upon your own devices to find ways to play it. And so that's a large reason why things like emulation have come into popularity. And hey, it happens. Don't feel bad, copy. I support it. You want to do the right thing, and I'm sure you probably already own, Donkey Kong Country 2 in like 8 different forms anyway. So having it virtually or on the emulator doesn't really matter at this point. You own the license multiple times over.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Emulation is an interesting thing.
Anything like what I know about copy.
That's true. But emulation is an interesting thing, and I have fixed your camera, by the way. You are looking spiffy now. As copy would
say. Yay!
Hey, so emulation is an interesting thing because it can be very legal, and that's what it's there for, or it can be completely grey area, and it depends which country you're in, how you acquire the means, and often buying the game separately, then illegally downloading it, is still illegal, even though you've already bought it, and you're just making it work sometimes because maybe the original wasn't working, it was broken.
Yeah,
Silly.
there's a lot of issues like that. Well, one of the problems you run into with piracy as general is they talk about it is completely something you're not allowed to do. And really the problem is if you own the license, you own the license. The issue you run into is that most of the times in order to acquire another copy, you have to go on networks where you end up being part of the sharing of that. And that's what they get you on, is now sharing something that is a copywritten or copy protected device or subject or something.
It's
and so
funny.
with that, they get you on the sharing, not the grabbing it.
How do you think they would do that? Like, so say for example, I downloaded an emulator for, I don't know, for Game Boy and the ROM for it as well. And while I was downloading the ROM, I hit download. Oh, there's a chinchilla in here, dear. It just ran in.
Look,
It decided to.
It didn't even last an episode or
Not
day
one episode
of that
chinchilla.
rule.
Oh, it's underneath my sheet. Oh, there it goes. It's way that way. Thanks, dear.
I'm sure you could teach it by having a squirt bottle filled with something like ammonia that anytime it got close to your wires, you could spray.
I want on the radio. I want on the radio. Oh, poor wee thing. Yeah, could do. But it's interesting. So if you downloaded that, and as soon as you hit download, it's there, and it starts to have a download rate and an upload rate. But you instantly cancel the upload as fast as you can. But 3 bytes of that game you uploaded. Can you be done for that? Is that
so? The key is
enough?
if you show up on any of their, what I would say are probably minimal searches that they use to say who was distributing a copy, and if your IP came up and they chased you down, then yes, they probably could still say that you were legally responsible for it. So, whatever. At the same time, I don't think there's except for Nintendo, who I know actively does all that. I don't think there's a huge concern because most companies don't have the time or whatever to try to pursue all of the illegal copying that's going on. So. Yeah, so as Copy puts in there, see, it's so true. Leeching is legal, seeding is not. And the problem is, depending on how you download or acquire it, you may be stuck in the seeding part of it. So just be aware, everyone.
I'm afraid that's not true everywhere. A lot of places it is illegal to download copyright material if you don't pay for it. That is the law in a lot of places, and I believe that is so in the UK and the US, I believe. I believe they only chase the uploaders because that's the ones they want to stop, understandably, right? If you want to stop drugs in an area, you stop the drug dealer, you arrest him, you don't arrest all the people who are taking the drugs. Same with downloading legally. You try to get people who are uploading versus downloading.
Yeah.
Well, they target the ones that are the source, right? That's the most important thing. You fix the symptoms. If you don't fix the symptoms, you fix the illness. Why are you showing us chocolate-flavored soy drink called Vita Soy?
Oh, that's mostly for Copy. I'm sure she'd appreciate all that. But this is leading into what I have been doing, where I was talking about that I'm at NDK. Because to start off the geekiness going into what I've been doing, both Lieutenant Fork and Kur0, who are the ones hiding in the bed behind me, so actually our own room, that we're here looking over the atrium into the bowels of NDK. Since we were fortunate enough to be able to trade rooms with one of Kur0's friends who had another room and unfortunately got stuck in the tower. So sorry about that, Gary, but much appreciation for the room. And so we have an atrium room, which is one of the coveted rooms here at NDK, and usually sell out, or the reservations fill up in about 15 seconds after they release the block of rooms. And so we were so fortunate to get in there. So over the week we were trying to finish, knowing that we had the room, trying to get something together for the balcony, and I think both Kur0 and Fork will agree that they didn't like my efforts, but I tried best to do a background that looked like part of the title screen intro from the anime that all three of us are cosplaying from this weekend, which is Samurai Champloo. Oh, so those in the video wall, the reason that you have Ken to sit there and say that, oh look, as he says, I'm looking very what? How did you say it? That you thought I was not looking
I said you were looking beautiful. You're my lovely assistant today. That's what I said.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea that I've shaved some to try to get my broken mustache and beard on, much like in the animes, so trying to be appropriate to all of that. But getting in there, oh look at that! Getting into the video wall that you said, perfect, and we even see a pause for a difference. That's new, with a pawy friend as well.
Pause with some extra pause added in, isn't that great?
Yes, it is. That is nice. So yeah, the reason I'm drinking my chocolate-flavored soy drink is that before the con, we like to go and raid H Mart, which is a local Korean market, Asian, essentially grocery store here in town. And it's wonderful because they carry all of the snacks that you traditionally see sold at the anime convention.
Okay.
So with that, we go to H Mart instead to pick it all up for a significant discount over what you'd find at con prices. And that way we get to have all of the snacks and things, energy bars and panda cookies and for me, I got
Sure.
the chocolate milk soy drink, which I think, what did we decide the languages on this? Was this Korean as well? We're trying to have arguments sometimes between the kanji if it was Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, I don't know, those different ones, because they carry some of everything. And so many times I have no idea what it is. And then this
So-
other one that's really tasty. And this one I think came in, let's see, imported, but I think it's made in Taiwan, but is a milk drink that has the, you know, most happy of kid faces on it. Like,
He's
oh,
pretty freaking
hello.
happy.
Look at, what was that?
He's like, man, this is so good. It tastes like children's blood. It's just so nice. It's nice and warm, and not at all like conglomerated at all. It's just lovely. So at anime cons, do they your anime and mango cons? They sell Japanese and Asian food as a sort of celebration of the culture. Yes.
Yes, they do that. And so basically all the people that come to the con like to embrace that and partake in all of the Japanese goodness. And that'd be
That's
through
interesting.
buying ramen, buying all the little snack cakes, things like that. So I get things like wonderful, deadly almond cookies that are just
Ooh.
so damn tasty. And other things like that. Yeah, just it's all over the place. This is an opportunity for us to all celebrate the geek culture we have around anime and all the things we love. So it's nice because having the threesome that we had here, and I'd say it worked out surprisingly well. Although
You had
I
a threesome,
don't know
dude?
how many good
I don't know if
pictures
that's
we
safe
had.
for air,
Yes,
man.
the threesome
That's
we
not
had
safe for
for
air.
cosplay. Thank you, Ken. But Kuro came as Jean from Samurai Champloo, and Lieutenant Fork was Fu, and I went as one of the title characters, Mugen, and so that's what I'm wearing right now is my Mugen cosplay. And so, no, Ken, unfortunately for you, the dangly earrings I'm wearing are nothing but clip-ons, as Kitten Features was observant of.
Yeah, I can't tell. I'm not good with that kind of thing.
That's fair. That keeps you a little bit of man credit, so don't feel too bad. But yeah,
That's probably a good
it's
thing, actually. Yeah.
it's interesting to have. Although after wearing even clip-ons for an entire day, I have no understanding of how it is that women are able to wear, like, actually cut holes through their ears in order to wear earrings like that. Because holy crud, are these things not comfortable? And I almost just have to forget that I'm wearing them and let the ears die as they will, like the circulation or whatever might be going through my earlobes cut off as I wear these things. But all in the name of good cosplay. And now I say this, and I'm on that weird fence between cosplays where most of the cosplay I'm wearing was purchased, except that I did make, let's see, for, again, the cosplayers in the audience, copy for one, I did make my unofficial wooden shoes that I've been wearing around the con this weekend, which people would say would probably be very uncomfortable. They're surprisingly not bad for something I just kind of made myself, and it helps
You
the
made that? That's
authenticity of
cool.
my character. What's that?
Oh, very cool. I didn't know you
Yeah,
made
no, you have to be crafty with cosplay, and you try to make things that are as accurate as you can. I know that Kuro's mom made most all of his cosplay, which is really epic. She did a really good job on basically a kimono type top that he had. And then, did she make or did you buy the Hakama pants?
She made those too.
Wow, she made the Hakama pants too. She did amazing. His mom is crafty as all get out. I'm jealous.
That's awesome.
And so,
No, that's very cool.
yeah, he ended up with all kinds of amazing cosplay things coming out of there. Where I had purchased mine and Lieutenant Fork purchased hers. And it sucks too because when you buy a cosplay, it's never perfect. It does okay, and it kind of gets you into the close aspect of what the character is, but it's never perfect. So for mine, like, the sleeves initially were too long because they came all the way down covering the wrists. Oh, I forgot to put it when I went downstairs. I forgot to put on my blue cuffs. I have to remember that. I went down before the show. I just put this on real quick, and I missed out that I have the character actually has blue, basically tattoo bands around his arms and legs. And so in the costume, they give you these little bands that you can just clip around, and I forgot to put them on this morning.
Aw.
Well, thankfully I only had like 1 or 2 pictures taken this morning, so only slightly fail. I say that because I get a little bit elitist on my cosplay, even though I don't think I didn't create it all myself. I want people to do it as authentically as they can, because I think we ran into maybe 3 other Mugens this weekend, which was kind of surprising because the enemy's a little older. But none of them had earrings, which he does in the cosplay. None of them, I think, even had facial hair because they're all too young or something. But you know, they have the little scrappy kind of beard and mustache that he has. None of them had the blue bands. I don't think any of the rest of them had the shorts or they all had wooden shoes, but none of them had the shorts, and none of them had the triangle in the back of his shirt, and no one else had the sword that actually wrapped around. I couldn't actually wear my sword out to the convention floor because they don't let any metal on the floor, even if you don't bring it out or if you have it tied together or anything. If you have a metal blade, they just don't allow it. And so with me, I just wore the actual scabbard, which was enough because that's one of the big pieces of the cosplay that you see. So I'd like to think that I did all right. I don't know. We'll see.
That looks good. It looks good. You're right. I think authenticity is a cool thing about. Well, it's a creative thing, right? The cosplay. It's a creative thing. Therefore, yes, you can kind of cheat and use somebody else's, and I suppose that's a way of celebrating other people's art. But really, you really should be doing it yourself. I mean, you don't put photography up on DeviantArt and be like, "Hey, look at this stuff that I didn't do."
Well, but that's the thing. I've had to modify it all to try to keep it as accurate to the character as possible. And there's still work that needs to be done on this costume. Fork, her bow for the front of food that they give is really small, and the one she wears in the actual anime is pretty huge and puffy. So the nice thing, though, is we'll be able to go back again and again and kind of remake or adapt the cosplay to make it more accurate in the future. So the next time I pull it out, it'll hopefully be very good, or at least much better. And so we'll see. I have some work to do on it, but all of this, when we finish up today, will go into a bag and get put away for the next time. And so I don't get rid of any of my cosplays. They just kind of get packed into my closet to get better and better next time. Or at least that's always my goal.
Cool, that's a smart way of doing it. Now, the IRC has been distracting me a little bit.
Yes, I see things about nipple piercings and tattoos, Ken. What have you been doing in there?
I don't know, and I'm lying, by the way. I have no tattoos. I don't know why I decided to say I have 3 tattoos. I just wanted to see if they would believe me or not. I have none. Kitten has a few. I think she has 4 actually, but I have absolutely none. I was genuinely tempted to get an like a horde tattoo on my back. I still kind of am.
Wow, are you gonna get like the full length?
Yeah, like a full detail. Like I'm willing to put down like I'd want to put down like thousands of pounds into it, so it's perfect detail. You know, like a gorgeous one that's like dripping with awesomeness. That's what I want.
Oh god, oh god, I don't know if I can handle that. Ken with a huge horde tattoo on his back. Not that, you know, playing WoW alone isn't bad enough, but making it so that it's a permanent piece of you, that just sounds wrong. Kuro in the background is freaking out about it already too.
So's random lady. I'll have you know, I have spent over a year of my life in World of Warcraft. I think that is okay to have a memento for. Hando says Ken has a Felicia Day tattoo. And I'll have you know, it's actually Felicia Day who has a Ken tattoo. She just doesn't know it.
Oh, really? When did you find her and do that?
Yes. Hando says that he has, he'll just stick to his nipple piercings, thanks. So, each to their own, Hando. Good for you. And speaking of milk, sorry to kind of move away from the cosplay side of things. As usual, I forgot something a little bit earlier, so...
Functional deviations.
I've been going to the gym a lot.
Okay.
So I started off 3 times a week, then I was like, that's not good enough. 4 times a week the next week. Then this week I was like, no. There's no point doing 4 out of 5. I may as well do all 5. So I'm now doing 5 days a week of gym. And I've been reading about how to do it properly because I'm doing all this exercise, tons and tons of exercise, I'm getting lots of rest, I'm being very smart about how I'm isolating each body part as I do it. I'm doing bodybuilding with a little bit of cutting as well. And I've been working out how to build muscle and what diet I should have and the likes. I'm trying to be very careful about it. So carbs in the morning, protein afterwards. I'm trying to work out how to do this cheaply as well, right? So I was looking and I was like, what's the cheapest source of protein I could find? And I was like, milk. Milk. So, yeah. I've been drinking a lot of milk. Basically
Make that sound like it's a bad thing. Milk is amazing.
Oh, no, it's fantastic. I love milk. It's brilliant. So a guy at work was telling me, he's a bit of a bodybuilder, and he was telling me how full fat's the best way to do it because it's got all the nutrients, and that way you don't need to eat any other fat, and that makes your day's worth of fat. So I'm supposed to drink 2 liters of milk a day, and I've never been meeting that. I've never met it once so far.
That is difficult, yes.
But I would like to. I'd also tried a protein shake for the first time. I was handed
yeah, that's really dependent on brand, just to let you know that.
It was actually not bad. The flavor was great. It was like chocolate cheesecake or something. Which wasn't, and I got it for free, so it wasn't bad. And I managed to finish the whole thing with some milk. So I mixed that in. Problem being, you're supposed to use like a blender almost to get in. But I was at work and
Oh
I was
yeah,
like, on a blender.
a lot of times those take some work to get fully blended.
I was like, I don't have a blender here, so what can I do? Oh, I know. I'll just put it in with my milk and just shake it around a bit. So I did that. And I tasted it and I was like, tastes nice. And it has the texture of, like this milk was 3 years older. So I then went, ah well. And finished the whole thing.
Oh,
the guy, I
ouch.
turning around afterwards and looking at the guy next to me, my manager, and he was just like, ugh. How did you
Yeah,
do
exactly. That sounds like a horrible experience.
But my gym experience has been going well. Just been building up slowly, and everything's been going well. So that's my health report. I'm back into it, and I'm going to try to look good for the reception. If you've got the dance moves, I've got to at least have the body. You know, I've got to have something to show off. So there we go with that side of things.
I'm a geek. Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
You may continue.
Now that yes, now that you've changed us back into the geek cred section, as I throw on my mostly complete Spartan helmet that I'm wearing now, that I have to lower in order to speak over, and so that you don't get the muffled Wayne throughout this. But yes,
That is so
everyone
freaking
on that.
cool,
Now
by
it
the
looks
way.
ridiculous.
I'm so
I'll have to take it back
jealous.
off. But otherwise, I'm talking through the mask and sound terrible. But the nice thing about
Go on.
another good piece of going to the convention is being able to show off some of the wares I've made, although I haven't really worn this out. I just wore it on the balcony really to show it off a bit. But yes, for everyone out there, it's pretty much done. I still have to do some work to get the faceplate in. Once my printer gets fixed up, go back through and finish printing the head. Hopefully Paz will like that as well, seeing the helmet in there, since I know he likes all of the shooters, even though it's Halo.
No, that's very freaking cool, dude. Very nice. Very good work.
Of course, now I can't get it off normal, so I'll have to take the faceplate off. Maybe.
You have become the Spartan.
There we go. Gee whiz.
Oh,
I
now
think
it
the
looks like
glue
more
on
like
it stuck more.
it's like a helicopter pilot kind of helmet now. That's cool. It can have multiple purposes.
Yeah, it's open.
Yeah.
Oh, challenges, because earrings.
Earrings and massive hair and
hurts the head.
headphones.
Oh, I do not know how women deal with it. Yeah,
I
see,
don't know,
Dave
dude.
broke this one off. Both of them. Oh, I'll just take those off then.
Probably a good
Oh
idea
my
for now.
goodness, that was not fun. Real-time
Yeah.
cosplay issues. So anyhow, back to what we've been doing this weekend, and now Copy's run out and grabbed her one of her cats. Anyhow, oh, so much better.
So,
Yikes.
Sir,
Yeah, I should do
you're a
that.
little bit laggy, so what I'm going to do is restart the call quickly. Just get that all up and going, and hopefully not break anything while doing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
hopefully
all good.
that'll work. It's interesting how all the things we have to do to keep it going.
It's okay. It sounds okay for now. It's like the starting call sound, so it's not laggy. It's just sort of like low quality, but it's okay.
That also puts in some of the discussion about this weekend, because one of the challenges that we run into every time going to a con is trying to find out if I can even do the show because of the interwebs. So one of the things that we ran into this weekend is, thankfully, the hotel does have internet access, so yay. Challenge we have with the internet access here is that it is pretty slow for what they consider high speed, and this is one of those challenges when we talk about things like net neutrality and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The description or definition of what high speed is changes significantly depending on where you're going, and from an ISP perspective, high speed is a very arbitrary concept. I've run the roommates out there now on the balcony because they don't pay attention to us anymore, but Kuro's showing in the video wall the con floor, I think. So if you look behind him in the video wall, you will see our room overlooking the atrium. And I also did a live feed on YouTube, which is another piece. Apparently, if anybody wants to watch me on Twitch gaming, it might be a while. My account got suspended, and that was due to me initially streaming out the con floor via my Twitch channel, which they have decided is not gaming content, and therefore they cut me off. So that was fun.
Twitch, man. Twitch has been such assholes lately. They are so annoying with all the legality stuff and trying to stick to the core. I understand, but they could grow so much. They are such a useful service. Just use YouTube. Even then, that's kind of all copyrighted down to hell now.
Well, and that's the thing. I did use YouTube because I wasn't broadcasting any audio that would have been, copywritten or anything like that, which seems to be the major issue across the interwebs today. because the music industry is suffering so badly, and they're trying to make sure they can store money from anywhere they can. And so I didn't do that. I just did the feed where it was just here, and you could hear the buzz of the crowd down below. And actually, I will give YouTube credit for this. Another plus for Google. Even though they're really harsh about those kind of things, I was able to get the stream running yesterday, and we'll see. I really hope that the hotel doesn't charge per bandwidth usage so much as just the fact that we paid for, because I streamed, I think, 15 hours of the con floor yesterday through my YouTube channel, and not the VTW one, but for my own personal Doc Dead one, I believe. And so you're welcome to go back and watch that entire stream. I will probably delete it at some point because all it is people wandering around the artist alley, but at least it gave people a way to go kind of check out how busy the convention was when it was happening. Another thing that occurred this time for the first time, and so Copy, hopefully you'll appreciate this one as well, is NDK for the first time had Crunchyroll come visit us. And so for those who remembered when Anime North was going on, and I mentioned it a few times, Crunchyroll set up a booth down in the main lobby where they had their little television set up with the scrolling text going across it and a camera so that all the cosplayers could go run in front of it and people on Crunchyroll could watch our convention live that way as well and interact with all the people that were on camera. It's also set up right now. So if you go to crunchyroll.com, you can click in the top right, they have a thing that says NDK. It should say day 3 or so, but NDK 2014. You can click on that and see some live cosplay that's going on right now. So you can check that out. You can chat to people. And that tends to turn into a bunch of people asking for shipping of all the different characters on camera to get people to like try to make out or something. But anyhow, it is there, and you can check it out and get another access to NDK. So in the IRC, we're getting salutes to Lieutenant Fork as they saw you walk in the background. People are giving you a slash salute and hello. Fork is looking somewhat alive. I think still waking up and such, but they have been troopers as well this convention. So yeah, I had the internet issues there, the Twitch issues, and so the stream may just instantly drop itself at any point for me because we're running on hotel internet. But anyhow, so got all that sorted for the most part. What else did we do with this convention? Went out and so karaoke. Oh gosh, yes, that's right. So we got here Thursday night. I like to go to the cons and get there a day early and stay late, because otherwise right now I'd be having to be and we'd be doing the show from home like normal. But instead decided to make sure to get in there, and I have the room for the next night so we can just kind of hang out, take our time leaving, and enjoy ourselves. I think that's a great way to run a convention, but that's just me. And then other than that, so Friday night we woke up on Friday, spent the whole day around, not really in our cosplay at all, but just kind of taking and seeing everybody was running around. We were surprised with how many people had checked in on Thursday. It was almost full on Thursday night. I mean, I guess a lot of other people have figured out the same thing I did, because the parking lot was filled up and there were people everywhere. And sometimes that on a Thursday it's still pretty light and everything starts Friday morning. Not this time. Anyhow, got there Friday. We didn't really go to any panels this year. But the only thing we did participate in that we went to one of the rooms was for Friday night karaoke. After running around the whole day, and for me running in and out with a lot of friends, because I forget how many people I know at these conventions now doing the photography and cosplay stuff like that, but I've now networked like everywhere.
Oh, that's good, dude. That's useful.
It's cool because it means that I can always find somebody to hang out with at these conventions now, and it allows me to let Kuro and Fork run away and do what they want to do at any given time. And then
I hope you got some VTW business cards that you're flinging out to everybody you see.
I did on occasion. If people had gotten to chat with someone and had a discussion kind of about what things I do, I'd mention the podcast, and I throw out business cards. I always have them. As well as when people I take photos or something like that, they ask, and the only cards I have are the Show X cards. I really do need something specific for the photography page, because I tell them, well, at least you can email here, at the show, or remind me, and maybe I'll come back and find you on one of my photos. We'll see. So it's the best I can do. But at the same time, I hope everybody who did get my cards is listening in. I'd invited people to come up and do the show with, but at the same time, this is probably for the best. Yeah. Because based on the people that could have been here, it could have been very interesting. And since my roommates, even though neither of them partied as late as I did this morning, we're still stuck in bed and are still barely alive right now. And so I don't think they have any excuses. But karaoke night was pretty epic. I took a bunch of GoPro video of that, and I might put some of it up on the show or kind of link it in when I have time to edit and go through it all. It's surprising because karaoke being what it is, you have the good, bad, and ugly of karaoke. And the ugly, gosh, I don't know. There were several examples of people that were a little, they really wanted to participate, and they got up there and man did that song play.
Best.
But
yeah.
oh gosh, that guy who did Metallica was terrible. And I forget which song was it that he played, because it wasn't Enter Sandman. It was a different one, but. Whichever song he did for Metallica, he did it in the most sing-songy voice that was totally off-key. No gravel to the voice, none of the just that you should get out of Metallica, so that felt so bad. And then we had, there were some classic ones where there's Queen played and such. The group we were with, Fork's friend Brad, totally made a bromance as we waited in line to get into karaoke. And so we met a gentleman, Dylan, who ends up being, oddly enough, in another one of the circles of people I kind of know from the convention scene. It's very intertwining how everybody knows each other. But he was in the front of the line with us, and we were just kind of hanging out like, we have nothing else to do. Let's get in line for karaoke now. Why not? So we're just sitting there kind of chatting and hanging out, and these two start talking, and holy crud, if it wasn't like watching a romance start and blossom, the two souls intertwining as they found out they had so many things in common with each other, favorite bands, and the music they wanted to sing right away. And it all started with, I think, Owl City.
Yeah.
And the idea of Fireflies. Although both of them agreed they didn't want to sing that song, they wanted to find something else.
But they did it. They sung it, and then they do it.
Yeah, and then so we have video of them singing. Oh, so funny. Anyhow, they did that, and did it. They were very energetic and were one of the better ones. There were a couple people that got up there and just blew it away. These people could sing. There was a gal who was very shy, but she did a Rihanna song. And she did surprisingly good. Little white gal doing it. Just gets up there and says, "You all have to be quiet because I don't know if you'll hear me." And then belts out Rihanna, "Na na 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 na." Just goes and it's like, what? And then had another. So the star of the night was Thor. There was a guy dressed in a full Thor costume with the long golden hair and everything. That was actually, I'm pretty sure, naturally his. And he just what?
Girl was good.
Oh well, okay, that was just a good song, but Thor blew it away.
Yeah,
because Thor did Journey, and the song he picked, everybody knows Journey, and kind of got up there, and the words were being projected on stage, so you could see it anyways. But he just started singing, and everyone kind of stopped, like, oh no, this guy's for real, because he was getting these high notes, and the voice just warbling up there, where it was just kind of like everyone kind of got, everyone was singing along, but at the same time you were kind of going quiet just to listen to this guy. Mm-hmm. And he was just rocking it. I mean, I don't think he had the Thor hammer up with him as he was running around the stage, but he was even running back and forth, looking at the audience, and just belting it out. So that was a ton of fun.
That was great.
Yeah. So karaoke night that kept us out a bit late, and it was so much fun. I don't feel bad because normally that's where I would go each night to the concerts they have, and they have a J-pop night in the big main hall where they play Japanese pop music. Because I like to dance. And so I'd get out there and do some dancing.
Good man.
This time I did not, and it was odd to find out when I finished up that bam, there it goes, and it was already like 2 o'clock in the morning, or actually it might have been later that when we were finishing up karaoke, almost 3 in the morning. That was kind of like, we got to get out of here. So that was our Friday night. We continued on till Saturday where we all got together in cosplay, although we waited quite a bit because. And an apology to people who've been around me, and specifically to my roommates.
Yes.
Because you just stop. But the whole week leading up to this, because of the Tough Mudder last weekend, I caught like death ill cold or something coming out of the Tough Mudder. I don't know what it was, running around at altitude, jumping into big buckets of ice, and running through mud and stuff. It sounds like things that shouldn't ever affect you. But coming out of that, I think I got an ear infection, which I'm very prone to if I get water in my ears. And I did get some muddy, terrible, cold water in my ears. But I got sick, and so I came into the con, specifically Thursday and Friday, just hacking up a lung. I have a whole supply behind me of like every medication I could find to get myself through it. Which, thankfully worked, because come yesterday I was feeling pretty good, just minor little coughs here or there, and today I'm actually feeling really good and I haven't taken anything yet. So I think it's all worked out and I'm avoiding it, which actually might work out well for me. If nothing else, I may not end up catching Confunk because I brought the Confunk and flu in. And so now that I'm getting over it, I might be good for the week. Because that's normally something we always run into, is you get around this many people that all have various contagions going on, and it just becomes a cesspool of yuck, which I contributed
it's a great way to
to.
bulk up your immune system, though, right? Because you infect yourself and you get infected by so many others that you're fine, you know? You're fine for your old age.
Well, for me, yeah,
day.
that somehow worked out, and I am feeling pretty damn chipper now.
No, I meant for when we are old, we will have a good immune system. I didn't mean you are good for your old age.
No, it certainly sounded like you said that for my age I'm doing all right. Because I do feel that old. Anyhow. I am.
Old man Hando's not in today.
As Hendo would say, man, you kids, get off my interwebs. But no, so yeah, I have to apologize to them, especially to Fork, because she has no immune system to speak of anyways. She has to suppress it. And so I think she's doing all right, and Kuro as well, but we'll see how they feel in about a week. Especially since Fork's going to be coming down, and it's going to be part of the reason I won't be on the show next week, since we're going to be doing Riot Fest, the concert, all weekend. So if I haven't killed myself yet, as I continue to find new ways to destroy my old body, that might be the one. So next week, as I do 3 days of concerting, that, who knows? Especially going into the mosh pit at Die Antwoord, I'm sure that's going to be potential death. Anyhow, back to the con. So let's see, Saturday we ran around most of the day, and I kind of ran in and out from a lot of friends that I saw in groups. We did do our cosplay. It took a little while to get us all set and together. Having to figure out how to layer the kimono that Lieutenant Fork has, that had never put on, and trying to, thankfully, doing my martial arts, I looked and was like, well, this is a lot like a gi top. Here, let's do this.
Yeah,
Aha!
Thank you.
And so suddenly she was all dressed and ready. For me, walking around all day in those wooden shoes, which did surprisingly well. What? Well, my first day they broke because I used a leather thong making them. And then I had to go back and use shoelaces, oddly enough, and they seem to have held up, except that I broke them today. I'll get into that later. But we spent the whole day running around. I think we had a lot of success. People already were finding each of our cosplays, even individually, and recognize the anime we were from, because Samurai Champloo, if you haven't watched, is amazing anime. It's very universally acceptable, and people just love it, and it's a classic for so many. To the point that most people saw it and understood it. I had only one gal at one point jump in when we were going up in the elevator together, ask me what I was from, because someone had stopped me in line for a picture. And then when that came up, she was kind of like, oh, you know, who? Let's see, what's this one? Oh, okay, no, that's good. We'll have Bradley on the show if he comes in. But they didn't recognize me, and so she asked, and I was kind of put off, like, what? How do you not know? Because everyone else has known exactly what I'm from. And tried to explain it to her, and she's like, I got nothing. I don't know what this is. And it's funny because I think every cosplayer does this, because if you cosplay normally characters you love, that you can be in tune with. There's some people that just cosplay characters because they look cool. I believe I should have loved the anime, known the character, and so I can try to act like the character. Because every pose I did for a costume, or for anyone who wanted photos, I was kind of giving them that up, looking at him like disdainfully, why do you want my picture, you know, or something? Because Mugen is kind of this vagrant arse, if you will, and so it's notable for him to just be like, bah, I don't care about your trying to looks. And so I practice all that. And so when someone doesn't know your anime, it's almost natural for the cosplayer to look at them like they've done something wrong, essentially. Where you look at them like,
how dare you do something
how do you
I
know
don't
my
know?
anime?
What dare
what
you?
is wrong with you? And so yes, that absolutely happened. I did that.
So if I went to this con, I'd be like that to everybody that's not Goku or Vegeta or Krillin or Bulma or anybody from Dragon Ball Z.
Which we did have almost all of. I don't think we had a Bulma. We did have a Krillin. We did have Vegeta. We did have several Gokus. We had a Gogeta, or what is that? What's the fully formed one that's got the monkey, like part
Vegito
monkey?
and Gogeta. That's Gogeta, I think.
Yeah, I think Gogeta. There's a guy with a Gogeta that had the massive hair and everything. I was kind of like, damn, I have not seen a Gogeta before. That was pretty impressive. So to lead into that, Saturday was spent getting a bunch of pictures taken of us, and it was fun too, except that we kept getting separated at various times, which thankfully is actually canon for the anime, because there were a lot of times where Gina and I, so Kuro and I were running together in our cosplays, but Fu was gone. Fork was up in the room or doing things again elsewhere. And so between us, we'd be running around and people are like, oh, awesome, take a picture. I was like, yeah, but our Fu's somewhere, we don't know where our Fu's at. And so I would start playing the part up and say, have you seen an annoying little girl in a pink kimono running around? Which is very out of the cosplay, or out of the anime. And so people kind of chuckled at that whenever you're in character. But it worked. And people said the same thing to her where she was like, I'm looking for these two samurai-looking guys, you know, running around. And they're like, oh, that's perfect. At the same time, we're like, damn it, we weren't together enough. But when people did catch all three of us and take pictures, they thought it was pretty epic. I felt good because a lot of people would see myself, or I think one of us, and not notice the other one standing there. So we'd turn and grab them like, hey, Gene, come here. And then they turn and they see all of us there, and they'd be like, oh, crud, that's awesome. Cool. You guys are great.
Serathis in IRC says, poor Krillin, how many times did he die during the con?
I don't know. I only saw him running around for a moment. So good. And then, yeah, we jokingly, I was talking to someone else about that because you see Krillin, and someone mentioned that, like, oh, Krillin, who would ever cosplay him? And I made the comment, like, well, come on. Krillin was the most powerful human in all of that series. He just happened to hang out with some really OP friends.
Yeah, most powerful full human. You have to remember that Gohan, Goten,
yeah,
the rest
no, I'm sorry. If you have an ounce of alien blood in you, you do not count at that point.
Not just alien.
Krillin was,
Piccolo was pretty terrible as well, to be fair. He was cool, but he was terrible.
Yeah, but everyone gives Krillin crap because he's the worst, right? But at the same time, he is the most powerful human in the Dragon Ball Z universe, or the Dragon Ball universe.
How many times did Krillin die? Okay, let's see what the answer is. There's an answers at anime.answers.wiki.com. He was killed by King Piccolo, by Tambourine, by Frieza, by Alternate Timeline Cell, by Boo, by Super 17, and implied to eventually permanently die of old age as well.
One of the best things you can ever do with the Dragon Ball series is watch Dragon Ball Z abridged. One, it's just hilarious. The voice actors are great, and they get through the entire concept of the anime in only like an hour versus the massive amount of episodes that are out there. But one of the things they do is every time Krillin gets in a fight and gets smoked, it comes up with a little counter that says, Krillin owned. Ding! One. And you'll see it come up every episode that he does where he's in a fight and gets smoked. It counts up how many times he's been destroyed in it. And it's hilarious.
Team 4
Which
Star.
also thinks
that's Team 4 Star.
Is it? Yeah, Team 4 Star.
Yeah,
yep, that's it. If you also thanks to Lieutenant Fork because she introduced me to Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. I think we watched because one of the things we do at the convention is watch a bunch of anime. So I caught them all up at the new Sailor Moon Crystal because they hadn't watched that. We of course watched some Samurai Champloo as we were getting ready just to kind of get those last minute details about all our costumes correct. And she got us to watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, which was hilarious. And in my opinion, I hope they make this for all of... I hope there are abridged versions of all the major anime out there that take forever. I'm really looking at you, Bleach. Really? Because, oh god, there are too many episodes. Kuro's saying One Piece from the back. Any of those, they need to make abridged. Because they'll get you through the storyline and introduce you to characters and show you the base idea of the character without having to go through the hours and hours and days of listening to all these things. So while the animes can be great, if you just want to get through it, it's like, thank God. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged was hilarious. And I don't know, it wasn't just a series, right? That was kind of like a movie?
Yeah, it was the movie.
Yeah, so they did a movie of it. And in that one, because it went through this whole time travel thing with multiple card duel things, and specifically catching on characters because I forget which series it was where they only fight from the back of motorcycles or something like that when they do their duels. It's just stupid. And but so they kept saying that where they'd bring it up and say, oh yes, but we're going to do a battle now, but not from the back of motorcycles. We are going to do it standing still in one place. Right here we will duel. And I gotta go to, which absolutely was hilarious. Anyhow, so we watched a lot of anime, kind of getting through the moods and getting through everything. What else did we do with that? I kind of wish I'd brought an old school gaming system. That would have been fun. But like everything, you forget some things. You grab everything you can. The room is a wreck, like it always is. Just stuff strewn about.
Is it annoying being right next to the big hall? Is it noisy?
So it is. If you open the door, it's just this constant rumble of noise from everybody out there, and because the artist alley's down there, so there's people always going in looking at the great artwork, mind you, and stuff. So, but the nice thing is the little sliding glass doors they put on the balcony are amazing sound barriers. And even then, the decorations I put up, we were all kind of surprised at this. Is that the Kuro is going to show you again? He's got the he's about to slide the glass door open, but you can hear the hum. And that just kind of kicks in when he opens it. But also the paper I put up as a backdrop.
Yeah, I can hear it. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a hum from just the audience out there. So the doors are real thick and work really great. And then the paper that's up there also works as a sound barrier that I put up as a background, as well as a heat barrier, because we have the AC in here. With all the con people down on the floor, it gets roasting hot out there. So we step out there and it's like a sauna up on our balcony, which is just insane because it's this big open area.
Man heat.
But he's showing the restaurant down there, and he's got like he's showing the artist alley and stuff. He's about to come back in, but yeah. But it's nice because you can sit right out there and just kind of watch people, and so it's fun to kind of when you're chilling out between everything else you're doing at the con. It's nice to be able to just sit on your balcony inside and watch everybody. The outside rooms have balconies as well, but you're just looking over the street and stuff like that, so it's not nearly as entertaining. It's much more fun to be inside. Plus, we can have our decorations up. Which also, I have to give crap to whichever balcony it is over there, and I may show it off again. I took pictures of all of the ones that were decorated. Somebody stole Kuro and Maya's idea. They beat us to the punch. It's really good, though. They took LED light strips and lit up each of the balcony slats, the bars that go up, and have a player running that's able to kind of replicate a video screen on those LED bars, and so you can see images of anime and decorations kind of floating through on their balcony. It's cool, and damn it, we wanted to do it.
Oh, that's a shame. But it sounds like you've been enjoying yourself, sir. Is there anything else that we should give a shout out to before we go into our break?
Let's see. I do want to get through the rest of the day, so let's go ahead and take a break. Give me a chance to break out my happy whatever milk, as a copy had mentioned. I forget what she said it was, the want one or something, or she just said want one. This is really good. It's made out of regular milk, condensed milk, and some other things, so it's like really tasty. Whole milk powder, condensed milk, sugary emulsifiers, and
I had
all kinds of
from the Oriental section in our local shop in my uni back in the day, and it had little hard bits in it, and as soon as I tasted one I was like, nope, not drinking it, nope, don't know what that is. Some bugs or something, I don't know. I was like, no thank you, don't want hard bits in my milk. Anyway, so since I don't have any ads downloaded to my computer, I'm going to have to do them myself. So,
okay.
Check out VTLProductions.com, click on the audio book section on the left hand side to download a free audiobook today from audible.com. If you turn off your ad block, you can actually see the ad, so you get one free audiobook from doing that, right? If you're in North America, you make a new account, you get one free audiobook, and we get paid for that. How cool? Okay, so like, let's get this straight. You get something free, we get something free. You get something free, we also get something free. This is cool, right? So go do that. Go get a free audiobook. That's awesome. You do, just a warning, you do need to enter your credit card details, and you will be charged for 1 month unless you cancel. Feel free to. It's up to you. If you're not happy with the service, you can cancel it. That's totally cool. Amazon doesn't mind. We don't mind. Whatever. It's up to you. But if you stick with it, that's cool. You will enjoy it because audiobooks are cool. Reading is cool. And this way you can read on the fly. Alright, also check out RSS feeds from JitBit Software. Again, same place, VTLProductions.com. Turn off your ad block. Scroll down a little bit to the left. You will find a link to JitBit Software. Check out their RSS feed creator and conglomerator. It is used to put together audio feeds, comic feeds, whatever the hell you feel like kind of feed. So you put it together to express your content online in a nice manageable way with your own software interface. Check them out at JitBit Software. And with that, you've been listening to ShowX on VTLProductions.com. We're going to try and move to the audio break. I've got to pause encoders.
Well, who are we playing during this break?
Don Ross, who we have permission for, and Josh Woodward, who's Creative Commons. So those two are cool. Cool guys.
Alright, good. But I just want to make sure we mention that as we get in, since, trying to do this whole thing legit on the video feeds and such.
I can do it legally. I can work it out-ish. It's just so long as as long as you credit it, you can play anything, right? That's how law works, right? Or not. Okay, let me work out which one. It's this one that goes from 1 to 6. I need to turn off for a second. Okay, I can do this. This isn't hard. 1 to 6. Okay. You have been listening to showhogs.com. We will be back shortly after this break. Please enjoy Das Music. Ja?
Did you turn off our voices in the video feed? Yeah. That's good. Oh, our show.
Excellent video wall participation today.
What? What was that?
Excellent video wall participation today.
Yes, it's looking good. Oh,
Who is Jeff?
do you not know Jeffrey? Yeah, I have to tell a story about how I broke my stuff today.
Oh,
Yeah, I've talked about the rave last night because that was
that was a
blast. Holy shit, dude.
I was going crazy.
Yeah, no,
Consistently from the second I walked in there.
yeah, that's awesome, dude. I love that you were dancing it up. I've got so many glow sticks hanging around here right now. This is
Yeah.
nothing. It's funny because Charisse picked up every glow stick she found on the floor on the way.
Glow stick on the fox died.
And the ones on my shoes are dead too. The only I think are still alive at all are these.
All the big ones.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
But you got some twirlers.
I made some.
There's a few people handing out glow sticks in line.
Oh yeah, people had so many extras. Look at the
The interweb shouldn't be too bad right now, considering most people have already checked it out.
yeah, exactly. That's a little less fun.
My Mac is fucking pissed right now.
It's just small. The sleeves don't let me. Ah. It's been too long since I've spun. I'll do this. Take this.
That looks terrifying.
Oh, I've had already like 3 of these. These are amazing.
It's a sour drink.
So good.
She's got her little game perfected. She'll let you think you have control. And then one day when you least expect it, she'll steal away your soul. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but she's got herself another plan. You think you're being clever like a modern man. Shows he has the upper hand. She's stubborn as a drunken donkey.
This melon drink is fucking delicious.
I was gonna ask how.
It tastes like real fucking melons. Melon orgasm.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say finally trying
She's
those.
colder than a toilet seat. She's lazy like a dog on Sunday, but you're the one who's on the leash. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but she's got herself another plan. You think you're being clever like a modern man, but Josie has the upper hand. I know you're not to blame, and there's no shame in falling for her siren. But while you're still a man, you better get out while you can. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but like a modern man, but Josie has the upper hand. It's so easy when you think you're winning, but she's got herself another plan. You may think you're being clever like some kind of modern man, but Josie has the upper hand. You may think you're being clever like a modern man, but Josie has the upper hand.
I can do things. Things are easy to do. You're listening to Show X on VitoProductions.com with myself, Ken, and Mr. Wayne here, live from NDK.
What?
Like a boss. So, we're going to finish up a Geek Cred section, then continue on elsewhere shortly afterwards. So, sir, you're wanting to finish off. What else have you been up to?
Yes.
How's NDK?
So I was continuing to talk about our Saturday and how we went around cosplaying and had a great time with that. Said hung out with a lot of the different con friends that I have. Tried to be very mellow because coming off being a little sick, I didn't run up and like hug anybody, anything like that. In fact, what I was mostly doing was playing around and kind of just taking it easy, taking pictures, letting people come up to me if they wanted to say hey, and telling them, "Whoa, I got the plague, stay back." But otherwise saying, "All right, cool," and hanging out. So that was all a lot of fun. The highlight of yesterday for me, a whole good day of getting any recognition as a cosplay, people knowing it, much fun. Night ended up with going to the Masker Rave, and so basically the cosplay rave that we host, and that was a ton of fun. It was a little crazy because, wait, let's see, Sarah, by the way, NDK is the Hungarian acronym for the GDR, could not unsee. I do not know what that is, so I'm probably still safe. So we shall see. And what else? No, I say, yeah, Nan Desu Kan. But went to the rave, and they did a better job this year than last year. One of the problems we've run into is they have, as a whole, the con, they've tried to, because we're at max capacity every weekend now, they have, I think it's 7,500 tickets that they sell per day, and they sell out every day.
Yeah.
And so we're full. And on it, they have a lot of people who are volunteers to help kind of organize the con, make sure lines keep moving, keep fire exits open, stuff like that. There is a mix of the kind of people you get that work the con, where some of them are cool. They're having fun, they're getting to see all the other con goers, stuff like that. It's just generally a good time. Others, on the other hand, tend to be a little power hungry. And man, do they exercise their ability to yell and scream and try to command what everyone is doing. And so it's kind of a back and forth. But overall good, but did run into a few kind of ridiculous things that people in line, there's a guy outside with us, we were hanging out because the line to get into the rave was so long, it went all the way from one end of the hotel, wrapping around each of the corners, out the other end of the hotel outside, where I started in line. So there were several hundreds of people in front of me. And then there was a gentleman out there, we're standing in line, and the people running back and forth are always like, single file, stay on one side of the sidewalk, there has to be room for people to walk by. You're just like, gee whiz. So, because as you get stuck in line, you don't just stand there like a drone. You want to kind of talk to the people around you, pass the time, do something other than just stand there waiting. One guy was having a smoke, and he was sitting there and just kind of chatting with everybody, hands out, he kind of sat there with his cigarette out, with people walking by, and some bigger individual that was working the con staff came walking by, just yelling at him that he was being a hazard to everyone around him holding the cigarette, and that he was going to burn somebody, and he almost burned this woman walking by in her costume, and how dare he? And the guy was like instantly like, dude, sorry, did not realize that she had done that and wasn't trying to burn anybody. My bad. And the guy just kept going at him, just like, you need to go somewhere else, you need to either put that out. And he's like, dude, I got you, I'm sorry. And it just kept going. For a while, I was like, holy God complex or something, that you're working this convention. You don't have to be a douchebag. Just, you don't. Chill the F out. And so there's some of that, right?
People like to feel important, and when they given a position of power, I mean, if you look back in time, there's the minister, some senators, Genghis Khan, just a few people just like that.
Yes, little people that somehow, well, at least those ones were able to accomplish something. This is just some overweight, tall guy that, you know, had a bit of a beard on. Other than that, I don't know what accomplishments he has in life. But he's working a con that anybody can do if you just volunteer. So yeah, that makes you important. I mean, I appreciate the staff, and you guys make NDK work flawlessly. But there's just some of the guys that are working it, some of the people working it that have too much of an issue. And I'll get into that at the end of the rave piece of it as well. But so we went to the dance, Kuro and I. Kuro got in line before me, and there was another one, which good and bad, right? They were making sure people weren't line hopping, jumping in front of people, and so in doing so, they kind of made people. And, you know, if they saw anyone cut in line, they were throwing both people to the back of the line, like, get out, both of you, all the way out of here so that you couldn't cut, which is good. It benefits those who've been waiting in line. That makes sense. However, some of them, like I said, were kind of asses. Anyhow, so they got us in. The rave started at midnight last night, and going into the rave, it was better than last year because last year they essentially had it going with I don't know what they had worked out with the fire marshal, but for the rave itself, I guess they had only stuck it out to like a conventions amount or like a normal with seat setup of how many people could be in the room, because the main convention hall is big. It's a really large open area, then you can easily hold hundreds and hundreds of people in there if they're all standing around dancing. Last year they must have done it if people were sitting, because the room felt empty when they were at their fire marshal cap for how many people could be in the room. This time, much better. In fact, I was in line, and then once they opened the gates, you know, it took a little while to get people started moving, but once they started moving, we made it in pretty darn quick. We actually got to a point where they had cut out, when they hit the limit of people inside before I got in, where I could see the doors up ahead of me, like, oh, there it is, the rave, but I couldn't get in. Wait, I think it only took me another like 10 minutes or so to go from there to actually get into the rave, so much, much better job. Ton of people in there, felt like good energy. So that was nice. One of my good friends, and I got in just in time, I'd say, because I got in time to dance around a little bit to find Kuro, which thankfully he was wearing essentially a little mouse ear type neon headband that made it easy to make it out with these little loops on his head. I was able to go find him and some of his friends that were out dancing, and he was cutting a rug the whole night. But got there just in time for DJ Bullock to get up and do his set. He's one of my good friends that comes and does Game Fest with me. And so he also spins as a DJ for NDK, and may eventually, I don't know, he may choose to do some spinning for us at some point on VTW if people are interested, have some live stream music. But we got out there, I danced throughout the night. For the most part, I was just kind of dancing by myself, but made a promise to him to say that when you're playing your set, I will be right up front, at the very front in front of you. And so as soon as he came up there, I was standing there, and other shout out to both Bradley, who may show up here. What was that?
I am ready. Bring the music.
Exactly. Yes, having it out there, just like play for me. But shout out to Bradley and Lieutenant Fork for hooking me up with all of the glow sticks. So I have a couple of remnants around my neck, and some of the people in the video all saw during the break me kind of spinning them. Gosh, I have a multitude of leftover, and this is not all of them, glow sticks and rings and things like this that were all attached to me. Basically, because Fork wasn't going to go down, she took all of her glow sticks and all of my glow sticks that we had captured together, and just the two of them spent time just building a basically there. If you look at in the video wall, Kuro has on his feet a glowing version of what I was wearing. Actually, Fork, bring that over real quick. I'll put it onto the official video stream so it's on the show.
It's on Snapchat, so you have to hold your...
Okay, so which one?
It's... I've got it right
that
there.
one. And so this was essentially what I looked like.
Oh, that's cool.
With the lights off, with just neon all around me, not including my shoes that also had them on them, so that in the darkened room everybody could see me dance. That's all right. I'll talk about that. That was this morning.
Oh, that makes me sad.
I broke that in my shoe this morning. I did it. That wasn't you.
No, I know that wasn't me, but I was using it to stab Brad.
But yeah, so danced away the night, had a ton of neon on me. That was a lot of fun. End up running into one of my good friends who I really enjoy dancing with. Lovely gal that got out there.
Try it.
Oh, God.
It's good. It's actually good.
This is the other thing. This is what the what did you get this for?
Yeah, it has melon and
so
milk in it.
Fork picked this one up because again at the H Mart with all the stuff she got melon milk.
Yeah.
And there's there, and they were afraid to try it this whole weekend. And apparently, just last night tried it out, and so cheers to now melon milk.
It's good. It doesn't taste like milk. Try it.
I like milk. What do you mean it doesn't taste like milk?
Try it. It's weird.
What the hell?
I know, it's good. It's got skim powder milk in it.
I don't know. It's not bad. It's just not what I expected.
Are there bits in it?
It's almost like a fizzy milk drink with melon in it.
Are there bits in it?
No bit. It's just fizzy, but no, it's actually quite good. Anyhow, again, this is what we do. We try new things when it comes to Anime Con. Anyhow, so we danced. DJ Bullock put up a great set. Had a lot of fun there. Apparently, I still, and this is a challenge I still have. I wish someone would talk to me specifically when I dance, because I don't know if I did good or not. I had several older gentlemen show up because I was doing more popping and locking than I was regular dancing to the anime, mostly because I'm an old man. And we danced from midnight till 4 in the morning. Okay? 4 solid hours of dancing to rave music. And holy crud was, yes, just although it was actually the faster kind of just dun 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 dun, you know, so, but it was a lot of fun, except that I could tell the younger audience have significantly more energy than I do. Hello, Bradley. Welcome to the show. Because we were going all night and the music was loud and fast. This is the Brad. See, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, the Brad.
General populace of the unknown.
Yes, the interwebs, they can see Brad. All right, thank you.
Hey, we only broadcast solely in North Korea.
Thank
Thank you very much.
What was that?
We broadcast solely in North Korea. Thank you very much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the entire interwebs. No, this is a North Korean broadcast only. Kim Jong-un has specifically requested us, and that's why you hear such great things about the leader, the all-holy leader of Kim Jong-un.
All 7 our listeners are all the 7 people in North Korea with internet access. It's true.
That's scary. But yes, so dancing with the night. Towards the end of the night, and I didn't post elsewhere, but so my friend Charisse, who's another great, amazing cosplayer, so I ran into her. She since the first time I met and danced with her at Anime Land Wasabi earlier in the year, where she wasn't sure about her dancing and kind of gave her glow sticks, and I gave her a quick tutorial on kind of how to move them with the hands and make everything look good. Mm-hmm. This time, damn, that woman has stamina. Because she was out running around, jumping in the middle of the ciphers and things like that all freaking night. I got tired, and I was even taking it easy, where I would do some big motions, kicks, and jumps around, and then I tried to back it up to the point where I was just kind of doing more like smaller. I seriously was doing really small movements to the beat, where I was just kind of boom, boom, and stuff, and letting other people jump around the whole night. I was still just drenched in sweat and just like so worked out from doing all of this. Oh, don't mention that, Hando. That's gonna make me sad. The fact that Paz is on the video while packing, because he's going to Pittsburgh or Philadelphia or somewhere that's not, I think Philadelphia, yeah, that's not here, and I won't be able to game with locally at my Game Fest anymore, and he has to air it on the show and put it on the interwebs as he's packing up his bags, you punk. That's gonna make me cry.
Oh, that's so sad. Aww.
It is. It is. I'm happy for him because he's gonna go increase things in his life, and I'm mad at him because he's gonna do things and not be around here anymore. I hate when friends leave, bastard. That makes it too real and too soon. Damn you, Paz. But yes, everybody support Paz2142. He will still be streaming all the time on Twitch, and he is still an amazing gamer, even though he won't be in Colorado anymore, and we will miss him. Yeah, sorry. Back to happy things like dancing. So in the dancing, did all that, and I was cutting everything that I've been learning in the dance class. So Ken, feel good, because I may have worked it out enough that I will be ready to dance at the Kaylee and maybe show off some moves and do some things. No promises. You know, specifically for the anime, I've been working on something. Because my dance instructor, because one of the things that Mugen does as he's fighting is he does kind of some breakdance moves fighting, where at one point he kicks around with his shoes, his wooden shoes, and kicks people by doing essentially a windmill on his shoulders and head, spinning around, kicking people around him, and then jump up, very breakdance. And so I had told my dance instructor, hey, I need to learn this move for my cosplay. And he was like, oh yeah, well, how long do you got? I was like, 3 weeks. He's like, well, that took me 3 months to learn, and I've been dancing all my life, but we can work on that. So I did, And I will say that maybe it's the adrenaline and looseness of dancing for 3.5 hours, but at the end of the night when people cleared out a bit, I didn't do it in the cypher, ever going into the middle of the circle and dancing and kind of cutting it up into break dancing. I just pop and locked and stuff, and I seemed to do all right. I was saying some people that mentioned that I did do good. Older guys walking around, maybe they just recognized it from back in their day. The younger kids, no recognition, so I have no idea. Again, I may have looked a fool, but I don't know. I did go.
Well, regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing that kind of dancing. I'm looking also forward to seeing your Kaylee dancing. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think I might try and bring my camera along, set up at the side, and get some video on the side of it, just to capture, you know, see Kaylee dancing, your Kaylee dancing.
Idea what a Kaylee dance is. Yeah.
we'll do a bit of the Gay Gardens. We'll do some Dashing White Sergeant. It'll be good fun.
That means nothing to me, sir. Is this something I'm going to have to research on the internet before I head out there?
Mayhap. No, do not. I would prefer it if you had no idea and were thrown around.
You say that. I'm going to start looking up tutorials so I get there and I'm just like proper.
So some of the ladies in my family are a good 15, 20 years older than yourself, some even older than that. And I can assure you they will still be throwing you around at the Kaylee.
Oh gosh, I'm so scared. Why did
they'll have nothing more than an exotic, handsome American to dance with and show some dance moves to. Oh, I'm sure they'll enjoy you. As well the younger ones.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to have a bunch of old Scots women trying to destroy me on the dance floor. I can just see this now.
Oh, it's going to be great.
If we get that, I'm sure video will be posted to show X's pages and you'll all see that. Oh, so awful. But yes. So good. Let's see. So dance, but at the end of the night, when it cleared out enough so the room, I went back to the corner a little bit and started working on some of the moves I've been working at in my dance class. And so I kind of did some handstand stalls and things like that, trying to go up on one arm, although I couldn't quite do that. And then I tried to do the windmill, and amazingly, and I actually had Charisse as a witness for this one, where I wasn't really sure if anyone was paying attention to me, but I was able to pull off the windmill and do the full breakdancing, legs twirling in the air on my shoulders at least 3 rotations before I collapsed on it, which I have never done and don't think I could do subsequently. I think it was only due to being at a dance with a carpet floor and everything like that. I kind of wish I had that one on video because I would have liked to have seen what I did. But did do that, did do some hand stalls and stuff, you know, which Charisse seemed to say I had done a good job with. But again, I can't see it myself, so I can only guess. That was all fun. And all good until this morning, which before getting in ready for the show and talking to you and kind of making sure we were all set up, I decided to get cosplay again real quick and run downstairs and see if I could find. I was tempted to try to get Presley Alexander, the young gal from Act Out Games, with her video channel to come on and do our show. Had talked to her dad about it, had done some, watched her at the bleach shoot and stuff like that, because darn it, that girl doesn't know everybody. And they said, yeah, but I didn't see him today. I didn't want to go hunting for them because the show was coming up, and I didn't get to bed till 5 in the morning this morning. I set an alarm for 10 to at least get up and get going. So, you know, I'm maybe on 5 hours of sleep, which is actually pretty good for me compared to like a Game Fest weekend. Not so bad. But didn't find them, ran into a couple people real quick downstairs, and then came back up. Well, while I was down there, there was one older gentleman who saw my cosplay and thought it was really good. And then we're right in front of the check-in area for the hotel. And I'm sitting down there, I have all my stuff on me. I actually taken my little 3D printed kuni knife with me just because I hadn't worn it anywhere. Had my wooden shoes on and stuff, like I said. Forgot my little armbands and stuff for my fake tattoos. And then I went and the guy asked me, he was like, well, okay, you're Mugen, can you do the windmill? I was like, funny you say that, because last night I was able to pull it off on the dance floor, so I think I kind of could. And so he's like, okay. And then I was like, let me see. And so I just kind of set my camera down, and I wish I had set more things down, like maybe my kuni knife, maybe taking off my wooden shoes, or maybe taking off my scabbard that was still on my back. And I just dropped to the floor and basically did the windmill real quick. Only once and kind of flopped. I didn't get the full multiple rotation because that might have been a mess. And like I thought, as I did it, the shoes started flying off of me, which I didn't want to have wooden shoes go flying in projectiles into anybody. So I stopped them. But in doing so, one of my shoes, I did break. I pulled the lace essentially out of the hole that was in because it's just holding with a knot on the other side. So I'll have to relaced that. At least it's fixable. Nothing truly broke. However, my Kuni knife, which was still attached to my side, I did kind of destroy that a bit. But thankfully, that's at a part where it was glued together originally. It was two separate pieces, so that shouldn't be too bad to fix, because that's one of the places where the print was put together. But I kind of got up and the blade was sitting on the floor like, oh, oops. So yeah, I did that. That was something. So yeah, I broke my knife, broke my shoe. Thankfully, it didn't break anyone or anything else, but got it all back together. So woohoo! And that was this morning, just before doing the show. So anyhow, I'm back. I'm alive. I haven't killed myself yet, being an old man, even at these conventions and all this nonsense. I didn't go to any panels. I wished I had. I was going to try to interview the Harmony Gold guys and ask them about how they were doing since their Kickstarter for the new Robotech show did not succeed, but didn't get an opportunity to do that, so shucks. Did end up doing on Friday night a fairly risque photo shoot at some point. Gosh, when did that happen? That was before the karaoke. I was hanging out with some of the friends that I have that I've done various other things with, cosplay-wise and such. And they had been having some drinks and everything and invited me back up to their room. I was like, screw it, I'm not hanging out with anyone else right now. Sure, I'll go up to the room. The next thing I know is they're all changing and doing whatnot. One of the gals who does a really good katana, I think, from Mortal Kombat, was in a little skimpy outfit. She's like, hey, take shots of me. You have a camera here? I was like, okay. So I started taking pictures. Another photographer in the room as well. I can't hear you, Ken. Did you mute yourself? Well, whatever changed, I can now hear music again. I don't hear you. I don't know if the rest of the show can. If you see levels, good. I just can't hear you. Those Oh.
Okay, that should be it fine. Can you hear me?
Yep, I hear you again.
Cool. The levels must have the freaking audio cables died again. That explains why you haven't heard me for the past 10 minutes or so. No, that would make sense.
I was gonna
FYI,
say, as entertaining as I am, because I was trying to hear what your comments were about me having this sexy shoot.
I was talking about that, and I did have a few comments. I don't know if you noticed, I managed to ban myself from the IRC.
Wow, Ken, you have done all kinds of fun things here.
Don't worry, I managed to unban myself, so it's okay, it's cool. I'm back in. Our very own bot
to do with the audio streams. They're like, nope, if we're going to ban you from the IRC, you must be a spammer everywhere. Bye.
Exactly, so... yes, everybody's saying Ken is back. The Ken is back experience. The Kenless experience. Thanks, guys. Thanks. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sorry to interrupt you by not talking.
Started the sexy shoot. Did not expect it to happen. It just kind of started forming around me. And then this one gal who... anyhow. I don't know if I'll be allowed to post some of the photos. But she was doing a Bleach cosplay as Grimjow. This is the female version of Grimjow from Bleach, and good looking gal. And when I got to the room, when I was following them all up, she was in a furry suit. Oh. So now, see, you can't stop giving that look. I actually had a full conversation with her about furries based on all the stuff you talked about, because she even brought up the idea that most people who don't understand furries thinks it's all about sex parties and all this nonsense, and she was truly offended by that.
I'm sure.
And it was like, oh no, it is nothing like that, and people need to back off.
I'm sure. All those YouTube videos I've seen of those guys walking around humping each other at these parties wearing nothing but terrible, terrible furry suits. Those don't exist.
So wait a second. What I just heard from that is Ken goes around the internet looking for videos of guys in partial fursuits humping each other. What? Where the hell are you on the interwebs, Ken?
I have already found some. It was not difficult to find.
Real quick, copy is showing off the national drink of Canada, obviously, because it is Canada Dry. Oh, and copy for you, and you can answer the IRC. Lieutenant Fork wants to verify whether or not your new Canadian money smells like maple syrup, because she is very concerned with that.
It's true, and also that's how Canadians are born. Actually, if you have a cluster of maple trees together, and an acorn falls perfectly in the middle, that's how they're born.
Nice.
You just see this mound of like maple syrup erupting, and then a Canadian pops out. That's how the girls are born anyway. Guys are born from snow, so they just
I was gonna say
break out with antlers maybe. That's how furries are born.
Oh gosh. Well, that's
Yeah,
why
well,
Canadians are so sweet. She says, yes, with a question. So I don't know if that's the case.
Is she uncertain of her own money?
It sounds like she is maybe uncertain of her own money.
It costs
Yes,
billions of US dollars a year, but it's totally worth spreading all these dollars with maple syrup.
If nothing else, but to bring others to it and want Canadian money. But yeah, so I did a very sexy shoot. Ended up where we did some shipping, as the term is around the anime thing, which is doing shots of characters that aren't traditionally in relationships, but putting them together in relationships and thus creating a ship.
All night?
And so with that, did some between Ichigo and Grimjaw. And but it was a male Ichigo and a female Grimjaw. And it was, yeah, I'll have to let you see some of those shots, Ken. I think you'll appreciate it.
I would not be complaining about that.
Should.
Perhaps the furry side, we'll see.
No, it was interesting. Although it was also, oddly enough, the first shoot I had done of a shirtless guy. Because he just happened to be sitting in the corner as I was on one side of the room shooting the gal, shooting Skittles. He was
just
in the
happened to be
doorway
wearing
to
that
the bathroom.
mankini in front of me. He just happened to be like dancing in a mankini in front of me with my camera
Oh,
and all the
so that's
oil.
the thing, right? He's sitting in the bathroom doorway, kind of leaned up on the wall, posed, kind of like just standing there or something. I'm shooting the other direction, and it was Skittles that pointed out, like looking back, saying, "Oh, hey, look at him just prancing about as though he wants photos taken." I turned around, I was like, "What the heck?" Because he did. He looked very Abercrombie and Fitch model-like. Standing there, so I was like, "Yeah, screw it, I'll take pictures." Took shots, and then he suddenly was all into it, like, "Oh, wait, so you want me to what?" You know. So if nothing else, my first like male model that I had taken shots of.
That's good. That's good.
But it was a ton of fun with the entire group because, granted, I think they were all drunk, but it allowed them to just kind of not care and take photos and have fun with it. And I can't wait to get a chance to edit those.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good. In the next 6 years, when you finally get to that set, of course.
So at least I did preface everything I did at the con here as not any official shoots, and so I told people like have no expectations for when these hit the interwebs because I've got senior pictures that have to be done quick. Wedding I'm still working through. Thank you again to Earth for helping me figure out how to take multiple cameras and sync them all up to the same time frame.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
In light. Oh god, dude, 6 different bodies, 6 different camera bodies, all with different times, some with different dates and years. And so none of the pictures matched up in order. That was a nightmare, but thank you, Earth. But going through that and stuff, so yeah, I don't know when these photos will come out. Maybe, yeah, who knows? No expectations. Anyhow, all right. So I'll call it with that. That is my NDK thing going up till now.
Are you done then? Is that you done? You sure you don't want to use the last 22 minutes of the show? You sure?
Well, I could. Well, because we continue on like tonight. Well, so when we finish the show, we're going to get up in our cosplay gear again, and we'll start trolling around, get more photos and stuff. Although it being Sunday, it's kind of the tailor down of the overall con experience, and so most people are checking out and leaving, although some are still running around that can. Tonight, there's a dance at the church, which is the club downtown that looks fun as heck. Fork's already bowing out of it. But it's downtown. That's called it's an anime and hentai party that looks interesting as all get out. And so we'll see about that one. And a lot of the people I know from like that photo shoot are going to be there. So that sounds really fun. So we'll see. But anyhow, yeah, no, we'll call it good with that. I don't know. What do you want to do? Transfer and talk about some news? Or you guys something else you want to talk about geeky on your end?
Well, I wanted to speak about my geek cred a little bit. I'll try and go through it so we can get onto the...
Well, I'm sure you'll have time as long as we're not talking about anything like WoW or LOL related or something.
Of course not, because people must be sick of that. We only talk about that every single week after all. But here we are. That's what they come here for. So me and Miss Kitten Features watched a film known as Sunset Boulevard. Now, many of you out there will know of
film.
this. I don't think anybody who listens will have been born when it was created, but I'm sure a lot of people know of it. So let me pull up the synopsis, because it'll probably describe better than I can anyway, because I kind of struggled with the film. So Ken very much is the one who suggested we watch this. I was sort of like, I guess we could watch it. I mean, I guess, because it's a classic, and it was more of a, I suppose. Because I'd rather watch, like, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy or Avengers again or something like that, but no. So Sunset Boulevard it was, just to try it out, and I was okay with trying it, I guess. So the film stars William Holden as Joe Gillis, an unsuccessful screenwriter, and Gloria Swanson as Norma Desmond, a faded silent movie star who draws him into her fantasy world, where she dreams of making a triumphant return to the screen, with Eric von Stoheim as Max von Mayerling, her devoted servant. A bunch of other people play supporting roles, and there's a director, and some other stuff, and that's all unimportant. Praised by many critics when first released, this film was nominated for 11 Academy Awards, including nominations in all 4 acting categories, and won 3. It is widely accepted as a classic, often cited as one of the greatest films of American cinema. Deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant by the US Library of Congress in 1989. So, you know, it's got a couple of...
also kinds of interesting, just letting you know.
Well, it's culturally relevant, that's all. So it's something that I probably should have liked, but it's just not my type of film. I appreciated how good it was in its time, and I think that's fantastic, but for me, in this day and age, I sort of thought, it's alright. I feel like it was a bit long and dragged out. It was just, the scenes of despair and emotion back then were longer, because it was like, look how emotional they are, look how much in despair they are so sad, and I'm just like, okay, I get it, a single tear would have done me fine, I get the point, she's devastated, done, okay, let's move on, let's see something else, but no, still staring at the sad face, so sad, and that's about it. So it was alright, I kind of enjoyed it, but it's definitely get cred because of its relevance in old culture. I also watched We Need to Talk About Kevin. It's a horror film.
Okay.
So this film's about this kid who's born and is a little bit mental, acts a little bit off and very cold towards his mother, and over time he gets worse and worse and starts really acting up until eventually he's clearly just intentionally being evil. Like, he intentionally craps himself over and over while glaring at her. She's like, don't you dare do that again, and he just does it while staring at her, and like she says like, talk to me, say something, and he just goes, he just intentionally does not do anything to her. But as soon as the dad comes home, he's like,
horrible.
Daddy, I love you, Daddy, hugs the dad, then glares at the mom like, I hate you. Like, he's clearly like an evil person, like a sociopath or a psychopath or something. So eventually the mother like picks up the kid, and is just after he craps himself again, she's like, that's it, and just throws him, just throws the kid. He goes flying across this room, like smacks, breaks his arm and like across the elbow, and he doesn't cry. He just glares at her and sort of smiles.
What the heck are you guys watching?
It's a horror film. There's a link to the wiki there in the IRC. We need to talk about Kevin. So let me actually give the proper thing here. We Need to Talk About Kevin is a 2003 novel by Lionel Shriver initially, and it's about a fictional school massacre. I'll actually do it from the film here. It's a British American
that doesn't sound anything like what you're describing to me.
Actually, it is eventually. It's just that you see the kid growing up. It's a 2011 British American psychological drama horror film directed by Lynn Ramsey and adapted from Lionel Shriver's novel of the same name. A long process of development and financing began in 2005, with the filming commencing in 2010. It stars the mother of Kevin, Tilda Swinton, struggling to come to terms with the horrors that her son has committed. So it's quite an interesting film. I'd say I enjoyed it, but it was pretty creepy at the same time. Not exactly scary, but it was a good watch. It was kind of like watching... it's definitely psychological drama, not horror, I'd say, even though it's kind of advertised as such. So that was interesting. I'd give it like 6, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I've been playing World of Warcraft. I've managed to get Graham. He's still playing it quite a bit. What's the problem, Mr. Wade?
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Is there a problem there? I'm quite enjoying World of Warcraft, to be honest. I've been playing my level 80 rogue. I gave him a recent do-over, because when I made him, it was back with the old texture packs for them. Well, not texture packs, like facial expressions and appearances.
It's a new haircut.
So in the original one, my undead only had this like stupid open gaping mouth, like, and he was stuck like that, and I didn't like him, and his hair was stupid. I was like, no, I hate this guy, because every time I look at him, I'm like, oh, I hate him. So I gave him like a spiky purple mohawk, and I gave him a normal mouth. Just a normal, closed mouth. So now I can actually stand the guy, and I'm playing him. It's quite enjoyable. I've been playing a monk with Graham, not freaking Kung Fu Panda, but an orc. An orc. So he's playing a warrior. I've been teaching him. You know, it's funny. I've been trying to teach him just basic WoW, and I keep forgetting that I have this massive amount of experience, hundreds of days of experience playing WoW. And so what's common sense to me, like the auction house, talking to a guard to get directions, that you can't mail wear like plate if you're not level 40 or whatever as a warrior, etc. Like some basic things that he doesn't know because he only plays League of Legends a lot, right? So he's a LoL player, not a gamer, and that's the difference. Because I can pick it up and go, bam, I know this game. But he's like, so the game's constant, and I don't just do level by level. How does this work? And it's just little things like that, and teaching him how to do the most basic things that seems so obvious to me. I can be borderline offensive by like, oh, you just do this, you just do that. It's totally obvious what you're doing. It's so obvious how to do these things. But you just press L to check your quests. Duh. Those are action bars. Just so obvious, and it's not at all. And it's just, I think the game is so much more easy to play than it is because I just have the experience, right? So it's been really fun playing that with him and having that flashback, and he's really enjoying it. He's like, oh, can we do a dungeon? Let's do some PvP. What is that? How does that work? What class is that? So do you get bored of this game eventually? How does it work? I'm like, well, yeah, but if you think about it, there's like 11 starter places for different races. Well, really, it's about 8 or 7. Each one has their own faction. Each one has their own understanding, lore. You can do PvP to level. You can do questing to level. You can do just grinding to level. You can do professions to level. There's this, that, and he's like, what do you do in the end game? I was like, achievements. You do achievements, you do dungeons, you do PvP. There's so much to do in this game, and it's just trying to teach him literally a world. And he's like, this game's massive. It is so huge. He could not believe it. And I think I love, like I said last week, I love living vicariously through him. I love living vicariously through him while he's playing this. It's brilliant because I'm getting experience of WoW again, like it's new. So that's been a lot of fun. I've started playing some LoL again. I kind of got pulled into WoW and stopped playing it for a little while, but I started playing it, and of course the first thing I do is play ranked because you know that's how you do it. Because I know.
No, I'm just letting you know, Ken, as you tell this story, that Brad over my shoulder here, who's listening in now, is a platinum player.
I will make sure to be laughed at, and I will take it in good stead. That'll be good. Yes. So League of Legends, yes. I've started playing ranked. I'm bronze 3, by the way. So don't feel too impressed. I know it's quite amazing, but don't worry. Just I'm a normal person, really. I'm not just a celebrity.
And just for Brad's benefit, all your friends that you played with when you went through the seeding part of ranked, they're all what?
Fresh level 30s. So. Yeah.
No, but what rank did they make it up to?
Oh, they made silver 2. Yeah.
So they're all silver 2 and you're bronze 3. Okay, just making sure.
Yep.
And you've been playing for how long?
About 2 years more than them. Pretty much constantly as well. I play a lot. Yeah,
okay, just set in the stage. So okay, you went into some more ranked games.
Yes, so I've started playing support Sona, which is strange because I usually prefer the more back driving kind of supports. Ones that are more about healing, actually pure supports rather than more poking. But I tried Sona, and I am a pretty damn good Sona. So in the past day, I've gotten to my provisional already. I'm ready for my provisional to see where my ranking will go. I've won 1 so far. In the second one, I didn't get support role. Somebody else got it, and I was forced into mid because I was last pick. And I said to the guys, hey guys, I'm not a very good mid, by the way. Could I try anything else? I mean, like, I'm better top, better jungle, better ADC, better support. I don't mind, but it may be better if somebody else goes mid. I was trying to be very nice about it, and they went, no, you will go mid. And I was like, well, I can only really play Ryze mid well, so I'll go him. Then the enemy chose Xerath. Totally outplayed me. Just destroyed me. That insane range.
So range versus basically melee range caster. Yeah,
so
that's
I played very much like I was standing back, and I was trying to be very like near the tower and hugging the tower, but I still managed to feed him up to about 3 or 4 kills more than I was. I was 2-3, he was 5-3 or so, and I was like, not good. But that was okay, you know, only 2 or 3 off. And then at the end of the game, that Xerath, is somebody getting naked in the background? What's going on? I'm getting a little bit distracted here.
You see the random leg get thrown up there?
Yeah,
exactly. The random leg. She's bending back looking, she looks like, what?
Also, I just realized the stripping music. The stripping music I just did was Eve of the War by what's it called? Oh, what's that film?
No idea.
Anyway, whatever. Anyway. So yes, been playing League of Legends, and I've been playing ranked, getting through that, and it's been enjoyable. I'm doing quite well. I've got one more in my provisional to see if I rank up or not. One left, so it's all up to that. I'll find out tonight. I've also been playing Game of War on my Android. It's a terrible... It's like Farmville, but war instead. So it's still pathetic to play. And it very much is a...
You could play the... Which one is that? The, what's the named one? Does Blizzard have one now? Or somebody have a big one?
Here's the Storm.
Is that... Well, no, it's the Android-esque one that's really just Clash
Tribe Wars,
Tribal
Wars,
different...
Clan Wars, yeah, something like that. But yeah, I've seen there's a few there that are quite popular. But yeah, I've been playing that for the past couple of weeks, and I'm now the highest level of my alliance, level 13 out of 25. I got attacked earlier on the week, and I lost a lot of stuff, and I came back on with like 20 mails telling me, you're under attack, and I was like, why did I turn off my notifications? Oh, I lost so much stuff. But I've rebuilt my empire. I'm now strong, and I'm now being a bully to all those nearby me. I'm like, I will take that, I will take that, I'll take this, I'll take that, I'll take you. And it's good fun. You're an asshole, and then people are assholes to you, and you feel really bad. So it's good fun. Kind of like LOL in that sense. But that's my week in Geek, I believe. Thoroughly enjoying my gaming, as I always do. Oh, I picked up 5 Nights at Freddy's.
Okay.
For $1. For $1 in a pack of games. If you're not familiar with it, it's an extremely scary looking game based in... So basically you're at this like... it's like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of place. And there's like the main entertainment is this guy called Freddy. It's like a animatronic rabbit and like animatronic animals. And basically they stand and sing to the kids during the day. And then you're just a security guard at night. And you think, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Just sounds like an alright game. But then you realize the animatronic animal things, the robots, at nighttime, they move around. And they run around. And the last security guard went missing mysteriously. So it turns out that these robots have a protocol that if they see anybody at night roaming about that's not in a robot suit, it assumes that they are out of costume, right? And they try to stuff them in the closest costume that they have to try and make them in character. So if these robots bump into you, they eat you alive to put you inside their robot costume.
Okay.
So the premise of how you actually play the game, you're in the security control room. And you have like these cameras and monitors in front of you that you can flick through. However, there's a very limited supply of power because, you know, corporate cutting and all that stuff. So you can only look at the cameras occasionally. These like grayscale, poor quality cameras of like these robots standing perfectly still doing nothing. As they should be. And as you're flicking through, you go back and one of them's missing. And you're like, where is he? and next to you, you've got these 2 doors that you can shut, but to shut them it costs power. And it keeps costing power to have it closed. So you can only close it when you're supposed to. So you keep flicking through these cameras like, where is he? Where is he? Should I shut the door? I'll shut the door. Boom. Okay, I'm safe. I'm safe. Oh, he's right there. Oh, I'm okay. I'll open it. But you lost loads of power. And eventually, you know, you flick to the camera just outside your hall, and you see one running down the hall towards you, and you're like, ah! And you try to close the door, and you don't quite manage, and then that's game over. And so the idea is just to survive 5 nights at Freddy's as a security guard. I haven't even opened the game because I'm too afraid to. I've watched the videos and it looks so terrifying. I'll be sure to live stream it if I do tonight though, because I'm tempted to.
So I'm assuming this is a first-person type of game.
I don't think so. I think you just control monitors and then you have buttons for the doors. So you are a character, but I don't know if it's first person. I assume as much, but I don't know.
Well, it's just any kind of that kind of immersion where it feels like you're really there, or it's just if you're just looking at the feeds. Because,
yeah, I think you are. I don't know.
You're really sitting at your computer and that's the interface.
Oh,
That'd
you
be
are.
Pretty creepy.
That is what it is, but you press a button to see the cameras, then you turn off to see the power in the doors and stuff, so yeah, I think it is first person. But oh my god, it looks so scary. I watched some videos of it and man. So, I'm going to try that out and stream it, we'll see how that goes.
Definitely stream any of that you're playing. We'll make sure that everybody knows so we can watch.
Definitely. So, now that we've, that's all my geek creds, so let's go do one little thing for our Geekoscope.
Alright, I'll let you jump on that.
More today on the Geekoscope.
Okay, so I did the drop-in that you ruined, but I did it. So there's a new Apple technology conference in the past week, and there is new stuffs coming out, including an Apple iWatch, the Apple iPhone 6, and the Apple iPhone 6 Plus, I believe is what it's called. and 5S and 5C, I think. I don't know. So there's a bunch of stuff all come out in the past year or so. The 5S and 5C were the last one. This time it's the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, and a couple of other things. So, on Tuesday, the Church of Apple held its annual convention in San Francisco, The Guardian says. Legions of the faithful, carefully vetted, were assembled in a darkened auditorium. The atmosphere was not quite as hysterical as it used to be when his Stevenness was due to take the stage, but the frisson of excited anticipation were now nevertheless palpable. The entire event was recorded in the highest definition so that the faithful could catch some of the buzz from any corner of the globe.
This doesn't sound biased at all.
Not at all. And so many tuned in that Apple's servers occasionally wilted under the strain. The celebrations were held in his Stevenness' representative on Earth, Tim Cook. He was there to unveil marvels such as have not been created in all the Earth, nor any nation, in all of which the people would see the work of Johnny Ive, for it is an awesome thing that he has wrought, etc. See Exodus 34:10 for the analog version. In practice, it was meant to be a bigger iPhone and another better, bigger iPhone, a digital timepiece, and a new way of electronically paying for stuff. All these were, needless to say, magical, awesome, unprecedented, etc. A more detached view would be some of the new and tiny patches of silicon, for example, improved camera, and a way of enabling apps to scale automatically for bigger screens, seamless handover from Wi-Fi phone calls to conventional mobile connections as you move out of range, and so on. But essentially all examples of incremental innovation. And although the iWatch looked like the first smartwatch that might be halfway usable, it's still just an incremental innovation in the product category pioneered by others. Yes, not biased at all. So, there's an iWatch coming out. My favorite thing about this, I'll touch on this lightly, is there's some software, there's some apps and stuff, you know, the usual, as you'd expect. It has a lot of health apps in it that you can see your heartbeat, how much you're sweating, if you're tired, how many calories you've burned, etc., weight loss, etc., etc. That can link into other apps on your phone and all these other things. Hello! Hello, there we go. I believe we have a Lieutenant Fork in the background.
Yes,
so hello to Lieutenant Fork.
Put on her schoolgirl cosplay, so with her cute little cat.
The one thing I just saw my leg thrown up.
Yes, when she was throwing her legs in the air, her little cat pantyhose, if you will.
Yeah.
So sorry about that.
So where was I? So yes, but my favorite thing about, other than all the generic stuff that you'd expect with the iWatch, my favorite thing by far is that they have made deals with multiple home automation companies out there, so that it comes preloaded with a bunch of stuff. So you can easily go out and purchase a couple of like devices if you're so willing that control your heating, you're unlocking your doors, you're turning on your car, making your like heating go on before you're home, turning on the boiler, making a bath for yourself while you're elsewhere, etc. So you can walk into your house, press a button or have it scheduled, and have your house come to life. Your dinner will start cooking itself. The fridge will go on hyper mode. I don't know. Your freaking pants will get put on for you. I don't know. But all this cool stuff that to me is what I'm interested in for the future of technology. And Apple are trying to strive and push that forward because they see that being the future as well. And I think they're trying to bridge the gap there. And that's beautiful. I think they've seen what people want. Even if it is gimmicky, even if it's crap, even if it doesn't quite work, it's the start of it, right? That's how we all begin. So we have begun the long path down to home automation. We'll see how this goes. So that's the one thing I really want to talk about. What are your thoughts on Apple?
Yes. On top of that, Apple basically had their big conference and said they got all these new shiny things that are coming out, which admittedly I'm on the fence to probably buy the new 5.5-inch iPhone 6 when it's available. Partially because they have the 128 gig storage that I'm interested in, and also I am still running on a 4S, and so I'm a couple generation behind, but this allows me to jump up and continue to keep all the apps I have and things I've invested in, same architecture, but still improve the performance from what I've been using. As Kuro is shaking his head in the background as though Android has anything to offer me, even though it doesn't, because, you know, they have to fight with his phone to try to make it relevant and say that's worth anything to own. At the same time, the iOS devices are great.
Samsung Galaxy S4 is still beautiful, and I love the screen compared to the iPhones, and I struggle to use iPhones after having such a big screen. But I don't know what I'm going to do the next phase.
This 5.5-inch one is going to have the full 1080p screen, which is something that Apple's been lacking in over the entire time. So they're finally catching up to the world of Android in some things, not everything. They will continuously be behind the curve. But when it comes to a device that I carry and use for everything that I do on the phone, I want it to just work and not have to fiddle with crap. And so for me, having an iOS device for my phone is great. Anywhere else in my life? No, not going to happen. But it
also, there's one other nice
thing.
thing.
It works beautifully, it's fast, it's chipper, and I've never run into where it just randomly slows down for no good reason. I find out that 20 apps are open or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy to run in the iOS device for a phone.
I agree, it is a good OS, and I did love developing for it as well. So one last thing, we've got about 30 seconds, so I'll be quick. You've been listening to Show X of VitoProductions.com. Be sure to check out the gaming night tonight. I will be on in gaming tonight, so feel free to join me in the Ventrilo. It'll be lots of fun. Send us an email, showx@VitoProductions.com. Check us out on Patreon.com. We've got Patreon.com/ShowX, one word. You can donate little pennies to us. We will appreciate $1 a month. Would be great. Anything would be great. Thank you very much for every small amount or every large amount. You can listen to us next week live, and we have got lots of guests coming up soon in the next few weeks, so be sure to check out our Twitter feed for that on twitter.com/VTWShowX and /DocDead. With that, is there anything else, Wayne? Thank you for being on the show with me, sir. Is there anything you'd like to give a shout out to?
Oh, just a good time at NDK, and thanks to all my roommates and friends that have made it a great weekend. And with that, get ready for the Casually Hardcore that is coming up next. Ken, make sure you let them know when you're ready to give them the feed. They are ready to go.
Shall do, once I just get this YouTube thing all working. But I suppose we can do this Sam side easily. So, thank you very much, everybody. You have been listening to ShowX on VitaProductions.com as I struggle with everything. We will see you next week in full power again. Thank you very much. And good night. Okay, we're off air. You can do the stream stuff if you want now.
No, it's all you. Just stop your stream.